Welcome back. Great to see you guys again. Today I'm coming again with Live Again and Wednesday Wellspring after a long time, but it's great to see you guys. And right now, today, I am actually here at Florida Hospital, Zephyr Hills, Florida. And I'm going to be talking to you a little bit more about that. There's a reason behind that. Okay, I'm okay. Everybody's okay. All right, just connecting some stuff up. And here at the hospital, there's this walking trail as well too. Hope you guys can see it, but I actually did take advantage of this walking trail as well too. But kind of just to get you up to speed, you know, as I was walking around here this morning, I actually was remembering this hospital is actually where I did my internship for my undergraduate program. I actually was here working on the crisis unit, which was a lock center, and it was a great experience for me. There I worked with patients who had like severe mental disorders, and it really did help me overcome some fears that I had, and therefore helped me to be better able to deal with that population. But that's not really what I want to talk to you about. Now, at the end of that internship program, you know, my supervisor at the time, my immediate supervisor, you know, she had to write up, you know, this assessment about me at the end for me to take into my internship supervisor at the university. And, you know, she gave me, now, first of all, I got to tell you that my grades were really, really important to me. I'm very competitive when it comes to grades, okay? So you can mess with anything, you know, except my grades. So, you know, so she was supposed to write up this assessment, and I take that assessment into my internship advisor so then that I can get a grade. And she wrote a really nice assessment. You know, she said, you know, she talked about my work ethic, and she also talked about my eagerness to learn, and she also talked about my flexibility. But then there was a but, and at the very end there was this but, and she was saying that I avoid conflict. And I'm like, so what's so wrong with avoiding conflict? That's not a bad thing. You know, first of all, my thing was, I thought that you know, you either get involved in conflict and it's really bad, or you just avoid the conflict. Now, background story, you know, I had a mouth on me growing up, okay? I was a bad Felicia and a listen Linda all in one, okay? So as I started to grow up, you know, I started to recognize that that's something that I really, really needed to deal with. So my way of dealing with it at the time was to avoid situations that brought conflict. So I took this assessment in to my professor, and I'm kind of still not understanding why she's seeing this thing as a bad thing. Now, I didn't think she wanted to harm me in any way at all. I didn't think she was being unkind or anything, because I mean, like, she really did make some positive statements right before that. So I go into his office and I'm telling him, I said, I don't understand why she's saying that. Why is avoiding conflict a bad thing? And he said to me, Karen, this is really, really not a bad assessment. This is something that maybe you can look at. And when I said to him, well, why would she prefer me to get involved in conflict with somebody, and then there's this whole big noise or something? He said, no, it doesn't have to be that. So he started to show me, you're looking at two ends, but there's an in-between. And that's what she was saying. That's what she was seeing. So there I was. My perspective of conflict was, you know, either you're going to avoid it or you're going to get involved in it and it's going to turn out real bad. But I learned from that assessment that there's a way that you can actually deal with conflict positively. Right? You can resolve conflict positively. Now, that was necessary for me, not just in the workplace in terms of work relationships, but at that time I was also doing groups, right? I was doing groups with these patients. And if I'm doing groups with them, there are times that you can get inconsistencies coming up in what they say. And just because I wanted to avoid conflict, I would just zoom on past those inconsistencies. But guess what? That doesn't help them, right? So, from me to you, all that meant for me was that I just needed to understand, not necessarily that I needed to change my perspective. I don't really like to use that, because usually when people hear changing perspective, they think that you have to get rid of that and get something else. No, I prefer to use adjusting. I actually needed an adjustment in my perspective. Yes, there's one side, like when conflict can be really, really bad, depending on how you deal with it. And then there's the other end of avoiding it altogether. But then I had to adjust my perspective to include that in between, where you can actually work on resolving conflict in a positive way, thereby keeping good relationships. Not only keeping good relationships, but actually improving relationships, taking relationships to another level. So my question to you, is there any perception that you may need to adjust? Or would you be interested in learning about resolving conflict, not just workplace conflict, but marital conflict? Not only marital conflict, but also conflict between siblings as well, parental conflict. You know, we're dealing with all kinds. What about friends? You know, sometimes, you know, we get into situations with friends and we don't handle the conflict right, and then we end up not talking to friends for like a number of years, and then we can't even remember why we stopped talking to them, right? So my question to you, if you are interested in learning or getting a perception adjustment when it comes to relationship, I want to invite you to Live Again the Barbados Experience 2018 in Barbados, November 14th to 19th, okay? And if you want some more details on that, please feel free, email me at admin@live-again.org, or see me on Facebook as well too, liveagain.2016. Bye now.